Every fall, as the school year began at Elysian Heights Elementary School in Los Angeles, there was one question on everybody's mind. Would he come back? Almost like clockwork, he always did.
Who?
Well, it wasn't a student. It was a cat. Now, this is kind of weird because in the last episode, you talked about dogs and how they led protests against authoritarian regimes and how the university students adopted the dogs and made them part of their family. It's kind of a similar situation. And I wrote this before you read me that story last episode.
Interesting.
Well, this cat would show up. It's almost like he knew when it was time and where he was needed. He would go to room 8. And he didn't just wander into the classroom one day. This was back in 1952. He sauntered into history. His story isn't just about being a cat. It's about the unexpected ways life brings us joy and comfort when we least expect it. And then sometimes when we most need it. We really do right now, don't we?
Mm.
It was just another September day back in 1952 when this gray tabby strolled into room 8 at Elysian Heights Elementary. Nobody knew where he came from or why he chose that particular room, but he acted like he owned it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is my place now. Maybe he sensed that he'd found a group of people who would adore him, but whatever the reasoning, the students and the teachers welcomed him with open arms. And from that moment on, Room 8, which is what they named him, it wasn't just a classroom, it was his name. And he wasn't just a pet. In the traditional sense, he belonged to no one and everyone at the same time. Room 8 spent his days lounging on desks and strolling through the hallways and sometimes even attending assemblies. I'll bet you wish you went to that school.
I really do. I do. I can't help but think about the shelter animals that I've seen. I've made a couple of TikToks about it with like really weird names. And Room 8 is a great example of an interesting cat name, one that maybe you wouldn't expect.
When it was suggested to me that I do a topic on Room 8, I thought it was like a horror thing. You know, it sounded like something like it would be the title of a "Don't Move into Room 8 in this dormitory."
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Room 8 became part of the school's heartbeat. Now, here's the thing about Room 8. He wasn't just a one-time visitor. Every year, like clockwork, he returned to the school in the fall. He stayed all year. He made the rounds in classrooms and basked in the love and attention of his young admirers. But when summer came, he just disappeared. Where'd he go? Nobody knew. Was he off having adventures? Did he have a secret summer family? It's one of the mysteries that has made him so fascinating. And even though he would disappear for the summers, every September, just as the first bell rang, there he was, ready to supervise another year of learning. He did this for 16 years.
Love that. Oh my gosh. Room 8.
And he wasn't just a cat adopted by a school. He soon became a full-blown celebrity. In 1962, Look magazine featured him in an article. And that's when things really started to get wild. Letters started pouring in from all over the country and even international mail. At one point, Room 8 was receiving over 100 letters a day. A cat with fan mail.
Love it.
So the students at Elysian Heights helped respond to the letters, adding an extra layer of,
Sweetness.
Magic to the story.
Yeah.
Room 8 wasn't just a local legend anymore. He was a national treasure. His fame reached classrooms in other parts of the world where teachers used his story to teach children about kindness and community and the special bond that can happen between humans and animals.
Mm.
Now, despite all of the attention, Room 8 never gave up his secrets. Where did he go in the summer? How did he always find his way back to the school? When he came back, he looked healthy and cared for, people speculated endlessly. Some thought he lived with another family, while others believed he might have been a stray, surviving on his wits and the kindness of strangers. Whatever the truth, Roommate wasn't talking. There were some students, however, that claimed that they spotted him roaming the streets of Echo Park during the summers, but the sightings were fleeting and nobody was able to really pin it down. They weren't sure.
Yeah, and I feel like if he did go live with a family for the summer, over the course of 16 years, someone would have brought it to their attention. Like, yeah, he lives with us.
Yeah, you would think so. Yeah. It just seems like he just went away for the summer and maybe he had a cottage on the lake. I don't know. But not knowing where he went and how he maintained his health and fitness throughout the summer only deepened the allure of the story. It was almost as if Roommate had an entirely separate life. Maybe he had a couple of wives in different towns.
Oh my goodness.
A secret
Scandal.
identity. It was a secret he kept from his adoring fans. Now, during the school year, Roommate's days followed a predictable but charmingly chaotic routine. Every day he'd make his morning rounds. He would pop into each and every classroom and greet the students. And then he'd find a sunny spot to take a nap. Lunchtime was his favorite, not because he begged for food. He was, I'm guessing, far too dignified for that.
Mm-hmm.
But children always found ways to sneak him scraps. In the afternoons, he was often found perched on a desk, watching intently as teachers gave lessons. It wasn't uncommon for him to interrupt a math problem with a well-timed meow as if he was offering the solution to the question. And when the final bell rang, Roommate would escort students to the door with his tail held high. So the years go by. Roommate started to slow down a bit. Age was catching up with him, as it does with all of us. And by the late 1960s, he needed a little extra care. And the community that had loved him for so long stepped up. Local vets donated their services. Neighbors provided food. Everybody did their part to make sure Roommate was as comfortable as he possibly could be. They even created a little apartment for him in Roommate, in the corner of the classroom, complete with a cozy bed and his own food and water dishes. And students took turns checking in on him, ensuring he was warm and well fed. It was a true labor of love. Generations had gone through that school with that cat there, and Roommate's grateful purrs made it all worthwhile. He passed away comfortably in 1968 at the impressive age of just under 21 years. And the outpouring of grief was immense. Roommate, of course, wasn't just a cat. He was family. He was buried at the Los Angeles Pet Memorial Park, and his gravestone reads, Roommate, a friendly cat. Even after his death, Roommate's story continues to inspire. At Elysian Heights Elementary, a mural celebrates his memory, showing him lounging in the classroom that he called home. The Roommate Memorial Foundation was established to promote animal welfare, ensuring that his legacy of love and the connection with humans lives on. Generations of students have grown up hearing about the story, learning about this magical cat who chose their school. And while they never got to meet him, they feel his presence in the hallways and the classrooms that were once his domain. Over the years, alumni of Elysian Heights shared their memories of Roommate at reunions and online forums. Some recall the comfort that he brought during tough times, while others simply smile at the thought of a kitty roaming the hall and commanding the classroom better than the teacher. His story even has inspired children's books, solidifying his place as a timeless symbol of friendship and loyalty. So Roommate wasn't just a cat, he was a symbol of something bigger. In a world that can often feel chaotic and uncertain, he was a constant. He showed up every year, 16 years, bringing joy and comfort and a little bit of mystery. He reminds us that sometimes the most unexpected relationships are the ones that leave the deepest marks. So next time you see a stray cat lounging on a doorstep or maybe strolling through a park, think of room 8. Maybe that cat is just looking for a classroom to call home, or maybe it's about to become somebody's best friend. Maybe your new best friend. Either way, room 8, I think he would approve. My information that I got from this, besides Valerie's email, was Los Angeles Pet Memorial Park has a little piece on him online. The cat who came back from Look Magazine, 1962 article, Elysian Heights Elementary School Archives, and the Room 8 Memorial Foundation. Room 8's story isn't just about a cat. It's about love and loyalty and the magic of being exactly where you're meant to be. So here's the legend of Room 8. And if you want to learn more about Room 8 Memorial Cat Foundation, it's available online, room8cats.org. Now, I've noticed that Kat has swung her camera around and is focusing on Lukey, who is lying on his bed by her feet. Did you switch it around so people won't see you crying?
No.
Okay. I was just wondering if maybe it brought a tear to your eye.
Nope.
I was trying real hard. That was my goal in the story, was to make you cry.
Oh, good. Thanks.
Isn't that amazing?
I love it.
16 years that cat came back. I can't imagine. It was pretty great. We had a gerbil once in my first grade room, and the teacher allowed us all, the plan was you can take him home for the weekend and care for him. And
That's
one
a
kid,
terrible idea.
One kid took him home, and he never came back. I don't know what happened, but I do know they had cats. It was horrifying.
No.
Nature finds a way, sweetie.
I guess.